apparently, if you run into things a lot or like get stuff stuck on doorknobs, like you're
ADHD.
Why is that a thing?
That's the ADHD. They call it the ADHD
lean or something.
Lean or swoop or something. And I've never related to anything more. Can you pour the water?
Oh, you're sharing your Culligan?
Yeah. Oh no. It's gonna be a long couple episodes.
Baby sip. What are we doing? Should that just be the start?
That's a great start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We interrupt your programming, your regular programming, to come to you live from our Supercast studio, aka Ashley's kitchen.
The beauty of Supercast is we record wherever we want.
Yeah, we do.
Something fun we are doing for our VIP Supercast members is we decided to just bring the October series a little sooner for them. Our VIP Supercast members are getting the very first October series episode where Taryne and I are reading 2 shorty, scary stories, and boy, were they good.
Yes. So you're listening to this on a Monday. If you are a supersized subscriber on this Thursday, even though it's still September, we're gonna drop just a little teaser, little like mini October series episode
2
early
scary
for you
stories.
guys.
Mine was so creepy. It was about a haunted hotel.
No, yeah, yours was super creepy, and we have like a crazy article that goes with Ashley's that like solidifies it. So that's terrifying. And then mine was like a night drive type scenario. But so if you would like to subscribe, we have the links and everything in our socials, but you can also go to unsolicitedadvice.supercast.com.
For just $5 a month, you get ad-free listening, bonus content, and all the fun Ashley and Taryne content you could ever want. Okay. And that's our cue. Bye-bye. Bye.
Today's episode is brought to you by Jenny Kane. Perfect timing, honestly, because fall is on its way and our wardrobes all need that little refresh. Jenny Kane is a California brand through and through, and their staples make getting dressed easier than it's ever been before. Everything in their collection is designed so intentionally that you can style pieces together without a second thought. Find your forever pieces at jennykane.com. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code ADVICE at checkout. That's 15% off your first order. Jenny, Jenni, Kane, KAYNE.com, promo code ADVICE. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Ashley. That's Taryne. We're Unsolicited Advice. And we're a mess today.
No, literally. Such a mess.
I actually had the best morning. Do you want to hear about my morning?
I would love to hear about your morning.
Not only did I wake up like way before my alarm, wide awake, just feeling great. It was one of those mornings. Crushed my workout, went and grabbed myself a Starbucks breakfast so that I ate way beforehand because normally I'm eating a little late.
Yeah.
Crushed that, took a shower, went all the way to Blue Bottle. I was like, I'm going to treat myself to Blue Bottle and a protein bar from Trader Joe's. I got the Blue Bottle coffee, my Spice Nola.
Yeah, okay.
Happy
just checking.
Fall season, everyone. Yeah. Everyone likes their PSLs. I am a Spice Nola girly.
Yeah.
And then just cherry on top to me, just having the most productive morning. Hillary Duff was at Blue Bottle and I made eye contact with her. And this isn't our first eye contact. I know she didn't remember me. But I remembered her, and it made my entire morning. Wow. And I just walked away from that just being like, it's a good day.
It's a good day.
It doesn't matter what happens.
No.
I'm on top.
Let the rain fall down.
I saw
I forgot the words.
And wake my dreams. Cheers.
Cheer.
I saw my sister.
Why did I do it like I was taking a shot? I don't drink alcohol.
We're cheersing. For the audience has no idea. We finally brought our Unsolicited Advice mugs. We've been talking about bringing our mugs to recording sessions for damn near 2 years now, and we finally did it.
Yep.
So we're very excited about that. Also, back to Hillary Duff. Alicia sent me. I woke up to it was like a meme because it was I think 19 years ago that song came out or something like that.
Ugh.
And I had a whole moment where I was like, damn.
So old.
That makes me feel, I'm pretty sure I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I had my first crush and I was like belting that song.
Yeah.
Thinking about him, just being like,
yeah.
In my bedroom. My like purple and pink bedroom that I sponge painted myself.
Sponge, purple and pink. Wow. I like can't even picture that
wall,
for you.
And then I took purple and then I sponge painted it myself.
Like that's so opposite of you.
Yeah.
Now
you're
that
like
was very dead me inside.
For like, I know. What happened?
She was like, I am a princess. And now she's like,
I am a princess. And what's funny is like directly, like immediately after that season of my life, I went to an all white room and then I got bored of that. And then I watched One Tree Hill, obviously.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be Peyton so much.
Yeah.
Like, so much. So I painted a red wall in my room.
Ooh, the red wall.
Which is like very opposite of like the pink and purple.
Did you ever have a zebra room?
I didn't, but I had a zebra blanket.
Everyone had a zebra room. I had a zebra room.
And I feel like the zebra blanket I had, our neighbor got it for us from Mexico. It was
oh my
huge.
Gosh. I know exactly what you're talking about because I had that blanket too from Mexico.
It was huge. You didn't need any other zebra in your room.
No,
it took up your entire bed and like laid on the floor also. That's how long it was. It was great. So soft.
Wow. That's so weird. Yeah. Like I knew exactly the blanket you were talking about.
Yeah. My whole family, like my dad, I remember him being like a zebra blanket, but then he loved it too.
You're
and when it all became like, if we had movie nights, like who got the zebra blanket?
Yeah. No, for sure. What did I do this morning? Oh, slept through my alarm for like an hour. Dropped Charles off. Then ran around like a chicken with my head cut off for a while until I got in.
Fun.
And I mean, I guess this is where we can plug Supercast because what I'm going to say is about Supercast. So like, y'all should subscribe to Supercast. Okay, that's all. But I was editing the AMA and it was just so funny because I feel like we're so, not that we're not like very vulnerable and like open in our regular episodes, but I feel like, I don't know, there's something different about the way we talk on those. It's weird.
Well,
I don't know how to describe it. It's like even the way we talk to each other just was a lot more like raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was this one part we were like referring to like something we had went through, and I was just like listening as I was editing, and I was like, dang, like it just was like, it's very honest and raw and like not held back. Mm-hmm. Not that we do it here. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, I think it has everything to do with one, we're in studio, so it doesn't feel as professional. Even if it's just a subconscious thing, I bet that has something to play. Even like Mandy and Michaela being here in the room listening, like them not being there just makes it feel subconsciously like a little more like, oh, it's just us.
So much
we
better
can say whatever
when
we want.
Hoes aren't with us.
They're not going to pay $5 a month. Doubt it.
No, they have to listen to us so much. They're probably no like over it. You know what I think it is too? Like in the AMA, like when we're here in the podcast, the beginning we're like bantering like this, but in the AMA and I think the other episodes, we talk a lot more. It's a lot more personal. You know what I mean? Like, whereas like I think the podcast, it's a lot more focused on
the
like
writer.
Other people. So yeah, it just was really interesting, but it was like fresh in my mind because I did that late last night. But yeah. That's all.
So all that to say, if you haven't heard or haven't been paying attention or haven't followed us on socials, we have a new subscription service available for you guys where you can get bonus content of Taryne and I every single week. This is going to be monthly AMAs, monthly bonus episodes. We're going to do shorties where we answer like some of your shorter emails. We're also going to be doing solo episodes and a lot of other fun things that are going to be available to our VIP members who pay $5 a month to get that bonus content. We're very excited about it.
Yeah, we are.
So subscribe.
That was such a like broadcast. You like put your broadcast like, you know what I mean?
Just getting the information to the people.
Your YouTube outro.
Yeah.
Voice. That was
click
a YouTube
in,
outro.
click out.
Yeah. Loved it.
We also have more things to discuss.
Oh, okay.
It is not too late to get your October series merch.
Yes.
October series is around the corner. Literally the next episode we record will be our first episode, and we are so excited for spooky season and to hear all of your guys' scary stories. So there's a couple things we need you to do. If you want to rep the October series merch, go get it. Go get your merch. We have totes and we have sweatshirts. Also, if you have a scary story, this is your time to write it in. If you know someone who has a scary story, convince them. Do what you got to do. Convince them to write it in also. We're just so excited. I already have my first episode story picked out and it gave me chills.
Yeah,
I'm so scared already. As I was reading it, I was just like looking out the window and I was like, I'm scared.
I was like, I ended up putting it off to read today because last night I was gonna like prep for today. And then, but I was home alone and it was already like dark and nighttime and I was just like, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, I loved it. I leaned into it. It was dark and nighttime and I was like, I'm picking my story. And I was so excited.
Not at all. But I'm excited to switch gears, you know, in like an hour, less than an hour.
Less than an hour.
You got to turn it up for us.
Always have to turn it up. Yes.
Sick.
Let's get into it. You guys already know this is the funny segment where you have to send in something funny or embarrassing so we can all laugh at you together.
You have to.
I'm not going to read the title because it gives it away. So let's dive on in. Hey, girls. You can say my name. It's Mary. I'm one of your oldest listeners, but I am keeping my age anonymous. Nice.
Why? You could have like given us an opportunity to feel better about ourselves. If she's older than us, then I'd be like,
yes.
You know? Mary.
Mary writes, I am an Enneagram 5 and have always been an awkward introvert. I'm okay with that now. My story happened my freshman year of high school. I was taking accounting and the only female freshman in class. Just remember, this is the late 80s and early 90s. I am not even sure if they offer accounting these days. As an introvert, when I get nervous, unfortunately, I get a little gassy.
Uh-oh.
I am still plagued by this. My poor family. I am sure. Back to the story. I arrived at class late and had to sit in the back of the class with the senior boys. I had a huge crush on one of them, even though now I can't remember his name for the life of me.
It was probably Anthony.
That's how it always ends up. Bobby?
Travis. I never knew a Bobby. Yeah, I knew Travis. I feel like Anthony.
I ended up sitting in the desk directly in front of my crush. On this particular day, we had a test, and class was extremely quiet when all of a sudden he whispers in my ear, "Can I see your answers?"
A whisper in the ear?
A whisper. How intimate.
Ooh, Anthony.
Mary writes, yes. Needless to say, after this, I was doing everything I possibly could to not fart out loud. So imagine she's already like, it's already quiet.
Clenched.
And then like her crush comes up behind her and asks her a question. She's just, whole body's so tense.
Not whole body, just that booty.
So about 20 minutes into the test, out of nowhere, I sneezed. And when I sneezed.
No, not a sneeze fart.
It happened.
Oh, no.
It was that one brief moment. I was mortified. I couldn't believe what just happened. It was extremely quiet for about 10 full seconds. And then my crush broke the silence by saying, "What was that?" Then everybody started laughing. I had no clue what it sounded like. I don't remember what happened after. I'm pretty sure I blacked out. I just remembered what happened and crack up laughing anytime I think about it. Keep being you and doing what you're doing. We love listening to you, Mary.
So good.
You know, it's one of those things. It's mortifying in the moment, and it's embarrassing for the rest of the week. But you get over it, and it's a pretty funny, hilarious story.
Yeah, I mean, a sneeze fart is better than just
a fart.
Yeah.
Could have been worse for sure.
Oh, that's Ashley's actual nightmare.
I wouldn't have gone back to class.
No, she would have been like, "Mom, I need to transfer schools."
Negotiated switching classes at the very least. Yeah. Or moving to I'm sure home class or online class is an option now.
Homeschool
for that one class.
Why are you homeschooled?
I farted in public and I'll never come back. I'll never come back from that.
Dead. Oh wow.
I remember in I think it was my U.S. history class. I'm pretty sure I was a sophomore. I was a junior. I had to sit in front of my crush, and I just remember being so aware
of like everything.
So aware. Like I was like,
you like brush your hair.
Smelled good.
Yeah.
I like had my hair perfectly laying behind me.
Yeah.
And I would try to not hunch, and I like always made sure like everything like I would like move so slowly because I was like so scared of like being an idiot in front of him. And not like he cared or even glanced at me. Like it's so funny how we play this out in our heads all the time.
In Pen 15 where she like pulls her bra strap out a little and is like
exactly though. And like if I did something like that, in my head the whole class saw.
Oh yeah,
and I was just being so, oh my God, like, is that my bra strap? That's how I felt.
Yeah, the trick is how to stealthily take it out so that no one can notice, and then when you catch someone looking, being like, oh, oops.
Yeah. But I wasn't stealth in any way, and I was just like, just moving it and looking at it.
Who taught us these things?
But that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
But that was like...
And that's why Pin 15 is so funny because we all did it.
Yeah, that was like us. And now I see like junior hires and high schoolers and I'm like, what? Yeah. Like I didn't even know what things were at your age. Like, let alone, Anyways, me with my camo, what are those called? The shorts with all the pockets?
Cargo.
Yeah, I had camo cargo shorts because I was in a massive hip hop phase and a Disney princess t-shirt.
Nice.
Because,
good combo.
Yeah. I have photos somewhere. I'll try to find it. I looked at him and I was like, I remember feeling so hot that day.
Yeah.
Lol.
Today's episode is brought to you by Jenny Kane. Perfect timing, honestly, because fall is on its way and our wardrobes all need that little refresh. Jenny Kane is a California brand through and through, and their staples make getting dressed easier than it's ever been before. Think minimalist and effortless, but totally refined, from luxurious cashmere sweaters and iconic accessories to elevated versions of your everyday basics. Not to mention the most incredible home essentials too. One of my absolute favorite things about Jenny Kane is their sweaters, which is why this is the perfect time for this to be running. I'm obsessed with the cashmere Francis polo because it has this like kind of like vintage inspired look to it, and it's just a great staple to like throw on with like jeans and tennies, or even like a cute like dress and throw it on top. But you guys are going to want to add this to your cart ASAP. Everything in their collection is designed so intentionally that you can style pieces together without a second thought. Jenny Kane believes in the art of simplicity. They focus on comfort, quality, and timeless design so you can curate a wardrobe that never goes out of style. They also have a stunning collection of home essentials, timeless furniture pieces, cozy throws, perfectly curated decor, and the most incredible candles. I keep one in every room. Plus, they have an incredible rewards program where you can earn up to 10% back with every purchase, and joining is completely free. Find your forever pieces at jennykane.com. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code ADVICE at checkout. That's 15% off your first order. Jenny, JENNI, Kane, KAYNE.com, promo code ADVICE. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about.
Let's get into the first story. This one is titled Reconciling the Fact That I Look and Feel a Different Age. Do you feel you feel younger?
Yeah.
Okay, same. But it's like a problem.
I wouldn't say it's a problem. I think I definitely... I think what it is compared to most people my age, I do a lot of younger things. Like I don't have kids. I don't commute like or have like a typical 9 to 5. My job's kind of different. I don't. My life's a little different. I get to like make my own schedule. So I do feel like I'm forever 25.
Yeah,
Same.
That's where I feel like I'm stuck too.
But I'm telling you, it's because we're not married and we don't have kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, we'd be like, yeah, I feel my age. Like everyone else my age has married and have kids. But
that's very true.
That's what it is.
Anyways, and just because we're hot.
Well, that too.
You're 5. Okay. Hello, Ash and Taryne. My name is Amanda, but most of my friends and family lovingly refer to me as Mandy. Mandy. I don't know if there's a song that says Mandy.
Two Mandys in the room. What do we do?
Sing it.
Mandy, we're not talking about you.
Mandy, if you're like, who's Mandy? Welcome to the first episode you've listened to. Also, Mandy helps with our socials and literally just keeps us
wouldn't
alive.
be here and on track if it wasn't for her.
We would not. We love Mandy. Okay, shout out to my fellow. Oh my God. I swear I read this before.
Are you sure?
I swear.
Prove it.
I'm always so shocked.
You liar.
ADHD.
You liar.
Okay. It's a shout out to my fellow Mandy behind the video and mics. That's you. Okay. Anyways.
We are talking about you.
I have been a listener of the podcast since 2020 and have watched Ash and Alicia's YouTube videos since 2014 when I was 13 years old. Before jumping into my situation, I would be remiss if I didn't boost your egos just a little bit in this email.
Please do.
I'll never say no.
Mm-mm.
Compliment me.
I feel like it's becoming a requirement.
Yeah. You know where I struggle, though, is when people compliment me, like, in person.
Well, yeah.
You know,
you have to look them in the eye.
Yeah. That's where
and
I get
everyone
a little,
knows
like,
you have to be like, what's the word? You have to like feign humility.
Yeah. You know what
I'll stop.
My go-to is the, oh my God, you're cute.
Yeah.
Stop, this.
Oh, you
and
look
I'm
amazing.
Like,
I'll be like, you too. And they'll be like, I'm literally like in sweat shorts and like whatever.
I'm like, exactly, natural beauty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I've been trying to get better at just accepting the compliment. But then I'm like, you just sounded so rude. If I'm just like, thank you. Mm-hmm. Or if a stranger's like, oh my gosh, I love your bag, I feel obligated to be like, oh, I got it from Amazon. And not just like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's normal.
Yeah.
My a girl that I work out with all the time, she's a trainer at my gym. She was like, Ashley, put those abs away. And I was like, my morning abs, they'll be gone by noon.
Don't diminish.
Immediate response. Yeah. But I feel like that's a normal thing that humans do is like, who, what, these, what? No. Like,
I'm going to start holding you accountable when I give you a compliment.
Well, then fine.
I'm going to be like, take it.
Same.
Okay. Ash. I want it to be genuine. Hold on. I love the way that you have beautiful eyes in general, but I love the way that they sparkle when we're around like lights. Like they reflect really beautifully.
Taryne, thank you. Thank you for that.
Take it. You take it.
Thank you for that.
Very good.
Don't compliment me. Your hair is gorgeous today.
You have to compliment me later.
No, your hair is gorgeous today.
Thank you.
You did it.
You did it.
You did it.
Sorry, we just did it.
Wow. Anyways.
Okay, wow.
Bring it
boost
back.
our egos just a little bit. Thank you for constantly creating a safe and uplifting space for your listeners where we feel heard, empathized with, and supported. That means, honestly, so much more to me than if you were to tell me I was like the hottest person in the world. Like that we create that environment. That's so important to me. I appreciate that you reciprocate the vulnerability displayed by your listeners, which helps strengthen the bonds of the UA fam. Both of you have shown me what it means to be a confident woman who is authentic and accepting of herself. You make me excited to eventually enter into my 30s. Your corner of the podcast world is my absolute favorite.
Oh, I love that.
We really need to like redo our bio and just like put that, you know?
Yeah. This corner of the podcast world is the best.
But keep the part where it calls us comedians because I love that.
Well, we're
We're
funny.
hilarious.
We're funny.
I mean, I am anyways.
I am also.
Here is a bit of background on me. I'm a 22-year-old. I am originally from Orange County, OC, baby, and an Enneagram 1. I just graduated from Johns Hopkins University and will be starting my dream master's program in genetic counseling at Stanford Medicine this fall. Dang, that's super cool. I didn't know anything about that, but one of my friends, Sammy, does that, and it's so fascinating. It's like very needed, and you have to be a very like caring person because you have a lot of those meetings with people who are like getting their babies tested for certain things or trying to figure out. I mean, again, I don't know a lot about it, but it's crazy. So good on you, girl.
Good on you.
For some reason, ever since I graduated college, random strangers have been commenting on how young I apparently look. Everyone seems to think that I'm 16 or 17. If I mention that I just graduated, a stranger will usually say, oh, high school? When I recently went to a bar, 4 other patrons asked me, "Are you sure you're even old enough to be here?" I have to say, my favorite comment I recently got was from a barista who said, "What 16-year-old drinks just straight black coffee?" Not only did they get my age wrong, but apparently there is also an arbitrary age deemed by the coffee gods on when it is appropriate to just drink black drip coffee.
I mean, I don't think it hit me until I was like 23.
I'm hoping by the time I'm 80.
Which is close to.
Yeah, I can't do it.
She's 22.
I can't do it.
Well, it depends on the coffee too. I feel like a lot of people are like, black Starbucks coffee is disgusting. Ugh. And it's because it's awful. Yeah. You have to go to like an actual nice coffee spot.
I still can't do it, but someday. I used to easily brush off these remarks, but since they have been occurring more frequently, a few times a week, they have been bothering me a bit more. Since genetic counseling is primarily a patient-facing healthcare profession, I am concerned that patients will view me as an inexperienced little girl and will not take me seriously simply because of my physical attributes. I usually wear lighter makeup, more colorful clothing, and have naturally wavy/curly hair, which I do believe contributes to my younger appearance. I've been considering wearing more makeup, heat styling my hair more often, and wearing heels, but I do not want to inherently change my authentic self just because of some societal pressures. Moreover, you are very well spoken, by the way. Yeah. Moreover, whenever I mention to a friend or family member how these comments have been affecting me, they just say, "You'll be thankful you look younger the older you get." I despise this response because I feel like it is condescending and further invalidates my lived experiences. It is also frustrating because I consider myself a relatively mature person. I like to think that I am ambitious, dedicated, and emotionally intelligent. I'm an old soul who loves to read, drink tea, and romanticize life. Wow, I don't feel smart enough to like read what she's saying. Like, I love using these words pretending like I would naturally use them, but I feel like it sounds natural, no?
Keep reading.
Okay.
What a weird tangent. This doesn't have anything to do with you.
This dichotomy between my internal and external age is beginning to affect my self-image and makes me unsure of where I belong. So how do I reconcile the fact that I look and feel a different age? How can I respond to people's comments and keep them from affecting my own perception of myself? I've attached a photo of myself so you can put a face to the story. Thank you. You are the best. P.S. I'm so freaking excited for the October series. I may or may not be sending in a scary theme, tearing it up. Hee hee.
Yay.
Much love, Amanda.
Amanda,
I swear you look familiar. She's so cute.
She does look familiar.
Doesn't she look familiar? I mean, OC. I love how she's like holding wine. Like, look, I'm 21. I can drink.
She does look familiar.
Doesn't she look familiar? I don't know.
Maybe we've crossed paths at one point.
Maybe we have, or we've met you at something.
Well, I love that you're aware that you don't have to change in order to like prove your point. And I love that you are wanting to prove your point, which is even better. But I think I would look at this as I would have a couple, being a like more quiet and introverted person. I would probably have a couple phrases in my back pocket practiced for when people are like, "Are you old enough to be doing this?" Or "Do you have experience in this in any way?" I would have a really quick like couple of phrase options just tucked in my back pocket, ready to go at all times, where it's like, yeah, I've experienced this and blah, 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 blah. I have my PhD, I have my whatever degree and certification in this, whatever. And just like say it so boldly, look them dead in the eye when you say it. And then obviously just like shoulders back, stand tall. Heels help. I don't think you need to necessarily be like doing your hair different and makeup, but I always feel more confident in heels. So like adds a little height. Maybe it helps you kind of look them more eye in the eye. But like other than that, I feel like I would just have some practice phrases ready to go the second someone questions me.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think it's so hard because I feel like I've tried to get better at the way that I give advice to certain people. And I think it comes with like age. I think it also comes with the way that people have responded to some of the stuff like I've gone through and what has been more harmful than helpful. But I totally understand. It's like logically you could look at this and be like, you understand why people are telling you like, girl, I would give anything to like be confused as being like 5-6 years younger than I am, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to remember, it's not that they're diminishing what you've gone through. It's that your problem triggers a problem that they feel like they have. Like your abundance in an area, which is having a beautiful fresh face because you are gorgeous, is triggering the fact that a lot of women specifically struggle with the fear of starting to look older than you are. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why, how many thousands of dollars do we spend every year on like makeup products, on skincare, on plastic surgery, whatever it is? Like that's an overwhelming area of insecurity that people have. So it's hard when something that someone struggles with goes in the opposite direction of an overwhelming amount of people. Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of like my friend, one of my best friends, Nicole, is very, very on the more like petite side. She always has been. Mm-hmm. She has massive insecurities about that. Like she's always struggled with her body because she doesn't, like when she was younger, she was like, I didn't feel like a woman. Like all my friends got boobs and curves and I just felt like I looked like a child and I hated it. Mm-hmm. And I remember, you know, when I was struggling with my weight, my initial response was to be like, oh my God, shut up. You know what I mean? Because I was like, why are you complaining about your body? I would give anything to be able to like fit into any clothes I wanted to, you know? But again, that was just because my overwhelming insecurity was the opposite of what she was complaining about. So I think that if you start to view, I'm just talking about that specific area of like when people say those comments, just remember in that moment, their response is not about you. Your just presence and being, unfortunately, is triggering an insecurity of theirs. And that's why they respond in the way that they do. Yeah. So I think if you kind of shift that and like Ash said, have your own comments that you make, or if you're in a space where you can just sit. I know when Nicole finally sat me down and explained why it was really hurtful to her that people would tell her like, oh, stop complaining. Oh, you're too skinny. Really? You know, when she explained that to me, then my whole view on that changed. Yeah. So find those areas where you can educate people, but then also when people's insecurities come out, view it as that and be like, this has nothing to do with me. So like, there's no point in me talking because we've shifted from me complaining about something to like your complaints. So it's like helping yourself not go as crazy, you know?
What's the field she's in again?
Microbiology. Oh, wait. No, genetic counseling. Where is it? Yeah, genetic counseling.
So what is that?
So I would do, let me Google a definition because I feel like I'll do a bad thing. But like, you know how like if you're pregnant, you'll get the test where they'll like literally like look at your genetics to see like your husband's genetics with yours, like what's
of getting
yeah. Okay. Genetic counselors are healthcare professionals who have specialized education and training in the fields of medical genetics. Using family history, a genetic counselor will assess individual or family risk of an inherited condition, such as a genetic disorder or a birth defect.
Okay, perfect.
So the genetic counselor, from what I've heard about my friend, and I could be wrong, but they will take the results of the test. They'll like see the way like all the genetics like come together, and then they sit with the family, the person, whatever, and go over basically like what could possibly happen and what that would look like, what you can do, like all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I want to mention is I feel like anything in the healthcare world, you are going to run into people who are just like, do you have experience in this? Yeah. And I think some homework that I feel like you could do, Amanda, is try to separate that. Like, this is them also just like making sure they're getting the best advice and care that they can. And especially if this is like over a child, I would ask too. Like, it's not something that is necessarily them coming at you, but it's them checking all the boxes to make sure that they feel safe and comfortable with the person that is taking care of them and the health issues that they're currently struggling with.
Yeah.
And
you mean child, like finding out if something could be with their child, not that you think that they're saying she's a child.
right. If my child was getting a genetic test or I was having tests.
I wanted to clarify because I understood that, but I didn't want her to think you were calling her a child. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just clarifying.
Clarify.
Got you, boo.
So, if that were me, I probably would ask too. And it wouldn't be simply because you look young. It would just be anyone. I would be like, are you qualified to be handling this or to be advising me? Should I get a second opinion? And I think that's something you're probably going to come across a lot, just being in that field. So I would actively start working towards like, this is something to expect. And this is something that isn't personal or based on how you look necessarily. It's just people making sure they're in good hands, you know?
Yeah. I think too, I ran into this a lot with the job that I do because I work in education. A lot of the people, you know, the teachers or staff I work with are older than me. And you know, I'm also meeting with parents, talking to them about their child. Mm-hmm. And I don't have kids of my own. Like, I am younger than them. You know, there's certain things that I ran into where I could feel a little bit of, you know, people being like, well, what is your qualification? Or like, what, do you have kids of your own? Like, I would get some of those questions and things. Mm-hmm. And what I came to find is that any resistance I had, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying even about like how to approach your friends. Anytime someone responds to me with some type of like negative or draining emotion, like anger or like judgment or whatever, I try to always separate that as being like, this is coming from a place of hurt and they're scared. Mm-hmm. So all that I try to do is communicate in the best way that I can to show them that I know what I'm talking about and that I'm passionate about helping them. That's all I'm there to do. So every time I get one of those, I am very like humble about my response of being like, hey, like, you know, I do have education in this. I've worked with kids for this many years. I just have a natural like ability to be able to, you know, like kind of like read into kids and what makes them tick. And all I'm doing right now is trying to be a resource for you. And like, I'll just kind of reassure them. And it never fails. By the end of the meeting, you know, we're all in tears. They like hug me after and are like, thank you so much. It's just, it's a hard thing for people to accept hearing certain information, or if they think like, I know more than you. And anytime people come at you like that, you have to see it as what it is. And it's just a place of fear. So I think as long as like, which, I mean, just hearing the way you write, like you're super intelligent, you have the education. So you need to walk in there with the confidence of who you are and what you know. And then everybody else hopefully will follow suit. But it's not your job to make sure like everyone sees you the way you are. It's your job to know who you are. And that you have like so much to bring to the table. And hopefully everyone else catches up with that. You know what I mean? But I don't think you need to wear heels. I don't think you need to wear makeup. I don't think you need to worry about your hair. Like, yeah, there's something to being professional, especially with the job that you do. But I think that you need to be okay with where you're at and that other people's opinions are other people's opinions. So have your funny, like snarky comments. And be like, oh, yeah, like, you know, all this plastic surgery nowadays, right? Like, whatever. Like, make it a joke or educate people or just, like, be dismissive. And then from there, like, you're in control of the way that other people's words affect you. But you're also valid in feeling the way that you do. So give yourself space to, like, feel, act accordingly, and educate people when necessary.
Prove them wrong.
Yep. Prove them wrong. And you're cute. Who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah. And like, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like I use humor a lot to like get out of certain things. So like the barista, what 16-year-old be like, oh, you know, I grew up on the streets. It's been a hard life. Or like, you know what I mean? Like
your few phrases in your back pocket. Just have them ready to go. You don't even have to think. It'll just be an automatic response by that point.
Yeah. Or I don't know about a 16-year-old, but a 23-year-old, man, she needs this black coffee. Like, you know what I mean? Just like make it light, because I guarantee all those people that make those comments that you leave thinking about for hours, they don't think about 5 seconds later.
No.
So don't give people's words that power. Like, walk away with your own power, you know?
Yeah. It's bothering you, not them. Thank you so much, Amanda, for writing in and sharing your story. It is my turn for my email. This one is titled, "It's been 10 years and I'm still not over him." Hi, Taryne and Ashley. I am in need of some serious big sister advice, or perhaps a kick in the pants. Either one, smiley face. So, I am 27 and married with 2 kids. But back in high school, I had a, all caps, massive crush on a guy that I went to church with. It trumped all other crushes, and it lasted literally for years.
Wow.
He was someone who I had this deep heart connection with, and he made me laugh and feel so alive. We went to church together, worked together, and spent so much time together. He would flirt with me, and I would flirt back, and I was just waiting for him to ask me out, but he never did. Looking back, I should have been more direct and told him how I felt, but I was an insecure teenager and I didn't know how to express my feelings then. Then one day I heard that he and this other girl were dating, and I was heartbroken. I tried to be nice to him, but our friendship definitely never was the same after that. Anyways, years go by and James married his girlfriend, and I met and married my now husband. My husband is amazing and I love him so much, and we're very, very happy together. The thing is, I never felt about my husband the way I used to feel about James. My husband was super in love with me, which I guess I liked and just went along with. And yes, I absolutely love him too, but I've just never felt a great connection with him as I did with James. Now, to bring us to the present, I heard the other day that James and his wife are having marriage issues and she's left him. I hadn't thought about him in a while, but when I heard that, it brought back all the feelings from the past and regrets, and wondering what my life would have looked like if I had been more direct with him about my feelings for him. Is it bad that I still think about someone from high school? Is it possible to foster a better connection with my husband to where I don't feel like I'm missing out? How can I stop feeling sad about the way things turned out and instead embrace the way things are? Thank you, ladies, so much. I'd be honored if you read my story on the podcast. Love, Anonymous.
Woof.
Yeah. There's so many things.
I think I'm going to kick her pants a little bit.
Yeah, do it.
No, I'm just saying that's probably going to be my response.
Oh, it should definitely be both.
You go.
It should definitely be
both.
You go. So one thing to say is high school crushes cannot and should never be compared to a relationship that you're in, because high school, it's all fantasy. And the reason that you have and still have all these feelings with James is because you never actually had anything with James. Mm-hmm. So all it is this like Disney princess romantic fantasy in your head that did no wrong. But if you had actually dated James, or like had even a short relationship, something would have gone wrong. He would have hurt your feelings, he would have said the wrong thing or whatever, and that would have diminished that like perfect guy in your head that you've come up with. And that's why you can't compare your husband, who you've obviously built a life together with. And of course, that means you've seen his flaws, you've seen where he has errors, and the two of you aren't, quote, perfect. And it's because you're actually living life and doing things together. James is perfection in your head. He's Mr. Prince Perfect, So you can't compare James to your husband, who's out here doing the work, to a guy who never did anything with you. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense.
Comparing. It's completely. It's not even comparable.
Yeah,
it's fantasy to real life.
Yeah, and I feel like this is something that unfortunately I've seen a lot with even some close friends that I've had.
Yeah, that
they, like Ash said, they fantasize these people, and they create these, these knight in shining armor type characters that made me feel this and made me feel this spark and made me do this. And a lot of times, I mean, especially in high school, like your hormones are raging. You're so imaginative. Like the guy says hi to you and you sit with your friends for 30 minutes about the tone, how he looked at you,
his arm
what he was
brushed
wearing.
up against you as he was walking past you, not looking or thinking about you in any way.
Yeah.
And it was intentional.
And
it was intimate.
Oh my God. And you add a could have been. Oh, forget it. Like that's just like the perfect storm. So I think that it is totally normal to still think about it every once in a while if something comes up, because I think we all do. But what I would be very careful of, and again, I don't know everything, so I can't fully answer this confidently, but you hear what I have to say, and you, if it strikes something, you'll know. I think what I have seen, a pattern I have seen, you get with these people. You obviously love him because you married him, but life starts to come. Real. The honeymoon phase starts to fade. You start to want more, which makes like sometimes like resentment or certain things come. So then your mind does this thing where you start to create and rationalize problems and solutions that are very much like not always a reflection of reality. So now all of a sudden, well, James did this, so my husband doesn't. And well, I don't know, I think I just married him because he loved me. When like, you know what I mean? It's like you start to like create these two dimensions where, well, this was with James and my husband, it's this. And you start to kind of create reasoning, rationale for like making excuses for entering that fantasy world and doubting the person that you're with. And I've watched it happen so many times to where, you know, my friends have gotten like obsessive with thinking about this ex person or this whoever person. And I'm sitting there going, that is not the person that I remember. Like, and not to mention, James's wife is leaving him. Like, who knows what the reason is, but he could be an actually like a turd of a human being. Honestly. Yeah. So it's like all these things you're letting yourself fantasize over when in reality, you don't even know the person he is now. Like high school versions of us have nothing to do with who we are now. Like, it's our starting point, but he's a different person. So you're letting yourself create this space between you and your husband and putting him up against this pedestal of literally a fictional character. And of course it's going to create that disdain and that like distance between. Because everything that's happening is in your mind right now.
1,000%. Now let's talk about like practical steps that you should be doing. And obviously this is different from person to person. Everyone has their own opinions and knows where their boundaries are. I think I'm a very nosy person, and I do think I tend to fantasize a lot. I don't follow a single one of my exes or people that I have a crush on. And I don't do that necessarily because I don't want to follow them, because I'm nosy and I would like to know how they're doing. But I don't think that's good for me. And I don't think seeing life changes and, you know, pop up in my feed for them and what they're going through, I don't think I need to be seeing that. And I don't think I need to be following along that closely. Especially when they're not a friend. I know people where your lives are so intertwined and your families are friends and your exes, so you do kind of like come across them more frequently, or you follow them out of like because you love their family or whatever. And I understand that. But for me, in my personal life, I've chosen to just not follow anybody. And I cannot recommend it enough, because I don't think about them. And if I do, it's a fleeting thought. And it comes and goes, and it's not that big deal. And I wish them luck, and I hope they're well. But I'm not seeing when they're single again. I'm not seeing when they're having kids, and I'm not seeing pictures of them and their person, because I don't want to.
Well, and because you were connected to that person.
And I want the best for them, but that doesn't mean I need to be seeing what they order for coffee every single day on Instagram. You know, like, I don't need that. That's just going to get in the way of me living my life.
They post a song, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, was that secretly meant for me to hear? Like, are they
literally?
It's not our fault. like us as women, that's why we're so creative and we're so like passionate and whatever. But if unchecked, it can sometimes run. And I will say, like I've said this so many times, one of my biggest theories about just human psychology is that we are compromised of all of the tiny versions of ourselves that come through life. So I'm not just, I'm Taryne who I am now, but that high school version of me like doesn't exist. She's buried within me.
Yeah.
So if you get me with my high school friends and we start telling stories, she comes to surface.
Yeah.
If you start asking me about my first love in high school, she comes to surface and she will tell you the story of our first kiss with so much passion and detail because it's like it just happened yesterday. So when you are igniting those things, and then that's going to clash with the person you are now. Also, if you have something going on in your head and that other person has no idea, everything that they do is going to either prove or disprove what you're doing in your head.
Exactly.
So if I'm you and I'm like, oh, well, I never felt this spark with James like that I felt with my high school person, and I'm lost in this debate in my mind. James walks in with a shirt with barbecue sauce on it, and I'm like, you're disgusting. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, whereas before, like he'd walk in and I'd be like, bro, clean your shirt. Like, what were you eating? Also, why didn't you offer me any? Like, you know what I mean? It's just different because your mind space is wrapped in something else. So that poor person has no way to win. Like, no way to win.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to channel everything into your marriage, you need to cut that off and you need to be realistic with the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
And really hone in and work on your marriage.
Yeah.
And you know what? If some reason your husband is not your person and you are meant to be with someone else, whether it's James or someone else, like life will make that apparent. But right now, everything that I'm reading is very much fantasy in your head.
Yeah.
And that is never something you want to base a decision off of.
Yeah. Another thing I want to say is I know we say fantasy, it's all in your head, where it's fake, whatever. But I do think there is power in your thoughts. And I think if you allow those thoughts to kind of like fester in your mind for a long time, I do think two things will happen. I think subconsciously you'll start treating your husband differently.
Yep.
You're already
That's
comparing
so
him
good.
to James. So I think you'll maybe punish him, give him the cold shoulder. I'm not saying like a harsh punish, but like maybe
Create distance.
Yeah. Maybe you'll say a snarky comment or like give him a uncompliment, like call out something that's like you don't like about him when that was so unnecessary, you know, because you're comparing him to this perfect person who, again, fiction. But the other thing that I think will happen, and this is over a longer period of time, I think eventually those thoughts will kind of take control and like you'll make a reason to run into him. You'll make a reason to DM him. You'll come up with some really serious reason why you need to ask him a question about church when it's not necessary. And then you end up in an even worse position. And I think the best way, I already said it, but I think the best way to avoid all of that altogether is to get control of your thoughts. And the first thing you can do to stop that is unfollow him.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against him. We want him the best. He's a great guy. I believe that. That's fine. Just like cut him out of your life so you're not constantly seeing him, so that your thoughts aren't constantly thinking about him, so that you're not trying to eventually get with him, because thoughts are strong and I think we need to give them more power than, you know, we do. Yeah.
No, you do need to be so freaking careful. Like self-talk is everything. And I don't know. And I hope you understand, like, this is not us like coming at, I feel like it feels a little bit like we're coming at you, but we're coming at you as big sisters that are like, don't touch that stove, it's hot. It's like that passion that's coming out.
This is the like danger sign lights that we're flashing, being like, hey, like you haven't done anything wrong, let's keep it that way.
Yeah, and like unfortunately I've seen this play out in real life, and I've seen how much people have sacrificed for this idea of something that wasn't even reality. Yeah. And I think the older you get, the more relationships change. So like high school, all you're thinking about is like, oh my gosh, I get butterflies. He's so hot. Like, did you see him playing quarterback? Oh my God, he's so hot. Like, that's all you're thinking about. Whereas the older you get, like, love and quote unquote sparks change. Like,
you watch the way that like he cares for you. You watch the way that he like
doesn't leave you.
Yeah, he's like loyal to you. You watch the way like he is with your future kids or your dog or whatever. And like it changes like the things that you come to like love and rely on a person. So I feel like being drawn to that spark and those feelings is, you know, we all reminisce. We all wish we could go back in high school and like live it up more.
It's a great time to be alive, for sure.
Yeah, but like you're not that girl anymore and he's not that boy anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to like remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't fall into things that aren't real or allow this fictional character, I know we keep saying that, but seriously, a fictional character like make decisions in your very real relationship and very real family. And you have 2 kids together. And I think Taryne hit on something is the last thing I'm going to say. I think the most important thing is to maintain your pride and integrity in this relationship and give it all you have. I don't know what's in the future for your relationship, whether it works out or it doesn't, but I would just want for you to be able to say that you gave it your all, no matter what. And I think that's what we're all just trying to be able to do. And I don't want you to ever look back and be like I messed that up. Like I'm the one who started that, and that's why we fell apart, you know? And I just want you to be able to, for your kids' sake and for your husband, and honestly just for you, to be able to say that you gave it your all, whether it works out or not. Like you stood strong, and that's all I want for you.
Yeah, and like Google stuff, like spice it up, like find ways that you can find that spark and like find like a new area of like excitement and like desire and danger like within your own relationship.
Taryne
you know?
and I talked about this multiple times on the podcast with different stories, but there's so many fun things you can do to spice up your relationship. Not like either of us know, because we're not even married or at the boring part of the marriage yet. But like there's so many fun things you can do, and I think it's just time to ignite that. I think it's time to cut him off, unfollow, block, do whatever you got to do, and then start coming up with fun, spicy things for you and your husband to do while the kids are with the babysitter or whatever.
No, I fully
But you've got this,
agree.
baby girl. I totally love that were so vulnerable with us. I hope you appreciate and accept our kick in the pants. And thank you so much for sharing, because everyone has been here. Everyone struggles with stuff like that. And especially like once you've been in a marriage, 2+ kids, it's inevitable that you get a little like, reminiscent on the good old days. You just got to check yourself. And that's what we're here for.
Yep. We got you.
And we love you.
We love you. Okay, I have a dad joke that someone DM'd. So
Perfect.
Let me pull her up.
I tied my shoe too tight.
My shoe's untied right now.
Really? I'm currently untying mine. It's one
Why
of those
are we
where
always
it's like,
opposite?
It's just a little too tight and I'm uncomfortable. It hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Where?
So much better. Wow.
Okay, here we go. All right. This is from Megan. She DM'd me.
Thanks, Megan.
Why did the man fall into the well?
He was making a wish. He was trying to collect coins.
Such literal answers. And
what is it
for them? Because he didn't see that well.
That
well.
Well, you guys, if you made it to the dad joke, you already know. We love you the most. Quit coughing.
That was actually, can we acknowledge that was my only cough of this entire episode?
That's pretty good. Impressive. Big clap for her. You guys get so excited. October series is our next episode. We're starting our official spooky season with only scary stories. So guys, this is your sign. If you haven't written in a scary story yet, but you have one, please write it out. Give us all the scary details. If you know someone with a scary story, convince them to write it out or ask them for permission to send it in yourself. We need the scary content for this upcoming series. If you have any funny Tearing It Up October series stories, we need those as well. Check out our merch website. We have October series merch as well as our regular merch available.
Yes.
And subscribe to our Supercast.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we're going to have some fun, spooky, bonus content for
Let's
you.
do it.
Okay, we love you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye.